we'll look at a question given as a person standing in front of a mirror at a distance of 2 meters. What is the distance of his image from mirror? This is the first question. The second question is, if a photographer behind him at a distance 3 meters and wants to capture his picture, where should he focus? Where should he focuses his camera? Where, in the sense, at what distance he should focus his camera? So look at the problem over here. A person standing in front of a mirror at a distance of 2 meters. So the problem can be solved like this. Here is the mirror and person is standing at a distance of 2 meters from here. So obviously he gets a virtual image. Virtual image means which cannot be taken on the screen. So he can only observe but cannot be traced on the screen. And he will be getting his image at 2 meters only. And this image property is virtual. That means which cannot be traced on the screen. And one more thing is, it is laterally inverted. That means when he observes his image, his right eye appears to be left, left eye appears to be right. That means laterally inverted image he will get. So for the first question, what is the distance of his image? What is the distance of his image from mirror? So the distance of his image from the mirror is again 2 meters, because distance of the object is equal to distance of image in case of the plane mirror. And in the next question, he asks that if a photographer behind him at a distance of 3 meters. So a photographer is at a distance of 3 meters. So here is the photographer. So he is taking the picture of this person. So since he is at the back side of this, he cannot capture his face. So in order to capture his face, he has to focus his camera on the image of this person. That means he should focus the camera somewhere over here. So he has to focus his camera at a distance of 3 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters. That comes out to be 7 meters. His focus point should be at 7 meters. So careful in doing the problem. Here object distance equal to image distance, that is the first point. And in order to take the picture of this fellow, he is behind the person, so he cannot capture the photo of his face. So he has to take the photograph of the image. That's the reason the focus of the camera has to be at a distance of this much. And that distance from the person is 3 meter plus 2 meter plus 2 meters. So total 7 meters. So he has to focus the camera at 7 meters distance so that the picture can be taken. So this is how problem has to be solved. And to make you confused, one more question, we'll just look into another type of question. So from the laws of reflection, we are familiar that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. For example, if at all, the question is asked like this: if incident ray is falling perpendicular to the surface, the ray is falling like this. Incident ray is falling like this. Then what is the angle of deviation? What is the angle of deviation means? How can you define the angle of deviation? The angle between incident ray and the reflected ray. So the original path is this actually. This is the original path. But when it is falling exactly in this manner, angle of incidence is equal to 0. Therefore, angle of reflection will be in this direction. So this is 0. That means with reference to the normal, when you are measuring, this is 0, and with reference to the normal, this is also 0. R is also 0. But coming to the deviation angle, that is 180 degrees, because This is coming downward, whereas this is going upward. So with reference to the original path, the deviation is going to be 180 and angle of incidence and angle of reflection will be 0 only. And one more point, if at all the ray incident along the normal, then the ray will be reflected along the normal only. There is no angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So this is how the problem has to be solved. This is one method of solving. And when mirrors are inclined, so question asked like question number 3, let us say, this is question number 2, this is question number 1. So here, if two mirrors are inclined at an angle 30 degrees to each other, then how many images are formed? So it's a simple aspect in fact. So two mirrors are inclined at 30 degrees. 30 degrees in the sense n is equal to 360 divided by 30. That is going to be 12. So this is 12, which is even number. But always it has to be odd number. Therefore, number of images is equal to, number of images can be 12 minus 1. That is equal to 11 images are formed. This is how you can solve the problem. So these are some of the problems that you can solve in case of the reflection formulae.